Hey guys, welcome to your first 8th grade lesson, Rational and Irrational Numbers. Now, before we get started, make sure that you have downloaded your calculator on whatever device you are using, your laptop, your computer, your tablet, your phone. We will be using the calculator a lot throughout the lesson. Now, make sure that you are taking notes as well. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Now first, we are going to review how to write each fraction as a decimal. Now, I'm pretty sure in 7th grade you did a lot of this. Now let's go ahead and review by hand, and I will also teach you on the calculator. Now by hand, remember it will be the top divided by the bottom. So you probably heard about top in, bottom out. So the top divided by the bottom. So 2 divided by 5, does 5 go into 2? No, it does not. So you will add a decimal and a 0. 5 goes into 2, 0. Now once you write the decimal, make sure you bring it up. Does 5 go into 20? Now 5 does go into 20 4 times. And so 5 times 4 is 20, so my remainder is 0. So that means that 2/5 is the same as 4/10 or 0.4. Now we can go ahead and get the calculator and we will double check. Now on the calculator, of course you turn it on. Once you turn it on, you will put that first number first. This little line means divide and then the 5. So 2 divided by 5. So we have 2 divided by 5. And that will equals 0.4 or 4/10. All right, so go ahead and do number 2. Number 2, if you want to pause the video and try it by yourself. All right, let's go ahead and do it by hand first. So 5 divided by 9, top in, bottom out. So 5 divided by 9. Does 9 go into 5? No, it does not. So decimal up here and a 0. So does 9 go into 50? Yes, it does. 9 goes into 50 5 times. All right, now we subtract. 10 minus 5 is 5. It does not go into 5, so we add another 0, bring it down. 9 goes into 50 5 times. Now, if I keep going, what is going to happen? It's going to keep repeating. So in this case, it would be 0.55 repeating. So we add this little line right here for the repeating sign. Now if we do it on the calculator, it will be 5 divided by 9. So 0.5 repeating. Now it does end with a 6 here just because they round. They can't put a lot of 5s on this whole calculator. So 0.5 repeating, and you can add this right here to let us know. All right, we're going to move on to question number 3 right here. These are a mixed number. What does that mean? It includes a whole number and a fraction. Now, to convert this, all you have to do is take the whole number. The whole number goes in front of the decimal, and all you have to do is convert this 5/8. All right, so I'm going to use the calculator for that. So 5 divided by 8. 0.625 or 625,000. All right, so it's 0.625. All right, so if you want to pause the video and try the next one, again, the whole number goes in the front, and then you will just convert 7 divided by 12. So 7 divided by 12. 0.58, and what's going on here with the 3's? It is being repeated. So if you remember, 5, 8, 3, and what do we do to show that it's repeating? We add a line at the top. All right, so that is a review on how to convert fractions into decimals. You will definitely need this for 8th grade. You will be converting fractions into decimals. All right, let's move on to perfect squares. So perfect squares. So if you see here, this is a perfect square. Now, try to think about why is a perfect square. If you see right here, it has 3, it has 3, it has 3, it has 3. It is a perfect square. It has 3 on each side. Now, area. What is area? Area means the inside of a figure. So here, the inside of this figure is how many little squares? It will be 9. Now, how do you find the area of a square? If you remember, it is base times height is your area. Now here my base is 3, my height is 3, so my area is 9. Now what is another way that we can write this? We can write 3 squared. What does that mean? It means that 3 is being multiplied 2 times. It does not mean 3 times 2. It means 3 times 3. You have 2 3s, so 3 times 3 is 9. Now, how do I work backwards? What if I cover this and I say, well, my area is 9. What is the side? Now, no, I cannot divide by 4 because it is not talking about perimeter. It is not talking about all the sides. It is only talking about these 2 sides. So to go backwards, I will do square root of 9. Square root of 9. So square root of 9 means what number times itself equals 9? Well, that is 3. Alright, so let's look at this one. This is another perfect square. We have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you get the picture. There is 5 on each side. So the area inside, how many little squares? So if you remember, base times height is your area. So base times height is 25. So yes, 25 little squares. Again, how would I write this in a different way? 5 squared. 5 squared is 25. Now again, most of the questions that you will see on your test or on a STAR question, it will be, well, the area of this is 25. What is the side? So the way that you do that is you work backwards. You do square root of 25 equals 5. All right, now to double check that on the calculator, if you look at this second button, this second blue button controls all the blue on the calculator. So I will press second, and then I will press this one right here. Here is the radical sign. This is the radical sign. So square root of 25 is 5. I can try square root of 9 is 3. So that is a way to double check on your calculator. Alright, if you want to pause the video and try these all by yourself, you are definitely welcome to do that. Now square root of 36, again, that means what number times itself equals 36. Well, hopefully you know that. Hopefully you know that that is 6. 6 times 6 is 36. Again, you can double check on the calculator. Second, press that button. 36 is 6. Alright, let's try the next one. Square root of 169. Now, this might be a bigger number for you, so square root of 169 is 13. Alright, now we have a fraction inside the radical sign. Now, what that means is that you would do the square root of 1 and the square root of 25. Now, the square root of 1, just 1 times 1 is 1. A number multiplied by itself to equal 25 is 5. So square root of 25 is 5. So for example, if I give you 9 and 49 just to make up a number, square root of the whole thing, square root of 9 is 3 and square root of 49 is 7. So that's how you will do those. And again, you can double check on the calculator. It will be a little bit different on the calculator. Square root of 1 over 25. 0.2. Whoa, oh no, it gave me a decimal. So what do? Well, 1 divided by 5, you can check like that. 1 divided by 5 is 0.2. So yes, it is the same. My answer is correct. Again, I'm using the calculator to double check. Now, another way that you can do is that you can put in your decimal, 0.2, and then convert it into a fraction. Yes, this calculator will convert your decimal into a fraction. So what you do is you type in your decimal, click on math, and look at that first one, it says frat for fraction. You press enter and enter again. It gives you the fraction. All right, let's move on to this question. It says, what if a question says, find the 2 square roots of a number? What does that mean? Well, let's take square root of 36, for example. Well, we found that the square root is 6. Well, miss, isn't the other square root 6? No, that's not what it means. It just means that we are forgetting about negatives. So, yes, our lovely negatives. You learned those in 7th grade or before that. Negative times a negative equals a positive. So, what about negative 6 times negative 6? What do you think that equals? So, let's look at the calculator. Negative 6 times negative 6. Yes, that equals 36 as well. So the 2 square roots of 36 will be 6 and negative 6. All right, so hopefully you do understand that. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Now, just like in real life, you have perfect stuff and then you also have non-perfect stuff. So in math, you have perfect squares and now you have non-perfect squares. Well, what does that mean? Well, non-perfect squares will always equal to a decimal. So that's the big thing. Non-perfect squares will always equal to a decimal that never ends. That is called an irrational number. So we saw the other ones, the perfect squares. The perfect squares, we saw square root of 25 just equaled 5, right? It didn't give me any decimal or anything. Now, if I do square root of 13, oh no, look what happens. It is not a perfect square. It gives me a decimal and it never ends. All right, this number actually keeps on going and going. Now, the way that I remember irrational numbers is irrational doesn't make sense. So if I go to the store and the cashier tells me, well, your chips are $3 and 0.60555125. Does that make sense? No, it does not. That is irrational. So that is one way I like to remember. So square root of 13 is actually approximately, let me go ahead and do it again, approximately 3.6. Okay, let's do square root of 50. Square root of 50 is approximately 7.07. Now, miss, why do you have a number line? Well, you will have questions where you have to convert these, figure out the square root, and you have to place them into a number line. So the way that works is, so let me go ahead and put these numbers. And so for example, square root of 25 right here, square root of 25 is 5. So if I say, okay, we'll place square root of 25 on the number line. Well, miss, 25 is not here. Well, no, that's not how it works. Square root of 25 equals what? 5. So I will place it right here, square root of 25. Well, where would I place square root of 49? Square root of 49 equals 7. So square root of 49, I will place it right there. All right, so how would I place these on the number line? Well, square root of 13, I have a 3. So that means here's my 3, but well, it says a little bit more. 3 and a little bit more. Well, what's in the middle? Remember, in the middle is half. What will be half? 3.5. Well, we have 0.5. Is 5 bigger or smaller than 6? Well, 5 is smaller than 6, so I will place square root of 13 after that. All right, let's look at the other one. Let's go ahead and graph square root of 50. Well, I have a 7, so I know it's going to be after 7 because it has a little bit more. But where do I place it? Well, here, again, it's half, 7.5. And I'm just placing it here so I can compare it. Well, miss, this one has more numbers, so it's after this number. Well, no, you have a blank right here. Whenever you have decimals, you need to make sure that it has the same amount of numbers after the decimal so you can compare. So here you have 2 numbers, here you only have 1 number, so you need to place a 0 so you can compare. Alright, so I have 0, 7, and 5, 0. Well, now can you see which one is bigger and which one is smaller? Yes, this one will be smaller than this number right here. So I will place it before, so square root of 50. And also you can look at this, square root of 49, square root of 50. That makes sense, right? Alright, let's go ahead and move on. And now hopefully you can pause the video at this moment and you can try these by yourself. And you can also practice the calculator. Practice the square root on the calculator. Alright, so let's go ahead and do square root of 8. So if I do square root of 8, it gives me approximately 2.82. So approximately 2.82. And if I didn't explain the squiggly lines, it means approximately. So here we have a 2 in the front. So we have 0, 5, and 10. So we have 5 in the middle. Well, 2 is smaller than 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, we have 2 and a little bit more. Again, in the middle is half, so 2.5. Again, how do I compare? Well, I have 2.5. Is it the same number of numbers after the decimal? Well, no, I have a space right here, so I can add a 0 so I can compare. Now we have 3 numbers. Okay, is 82 bigger than 50? Yes, it is. So I will place, and let me place it right here, square root of 8. And you can also guide yourself with this. Square root of 9 is 3. And square root of 4 is 2. Alright, let's try square root of 75. So second, so 8.6. So we have approximately 8.6. Alright, so if you look at that first number, that first whole number is bigger than 5. So 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So 8 and a little bit more, right? And right at the middle is 8.5. Well, 5 is smaller than 6, so I will place square root of 75 after the half. Alright, let's go ahead and move on. Now, of course, it's math. So math, we also have word problems. So this is some of the ways that you will see word problems with these with square roots. So let's go ahead and take a look. Now it does say think about slide number 3. So we go back to slide number 3. It talks about a square. It talks about the area, and it talks about the side. All right, so keep that in mind. So let's go back. So here it says you have a carpet that has an area of 196 square feet. What is the length of the side? Okay, so it's telling me I have a carpet, right? It has an area. So remember, the area is the inside. So the inside is 196. And it's asking for the side. Now again, it talks about area. Please keep that in mind. It does not talk about perimeter, so please do not do 196 divided by 4 to find the perimeter. That's not how it works. Remember, it's base times height has to equal 196. So it talks about two numbers have to equal 196. Well, we go back to slide number 3. How do we go backwards to find the side? We did the square root. So the square root, so that means one number times itself will equal 196, right? So 196, so square root of 196. So we look at this, second, square root of 196 is 14. All right, so what does that mean? That the side is 14, the other side is 14, and of course we can check. We can check with base times side has to equals 196. 14 times 14, does it equals 196? Well, let's go ahead and check. 14 times 14, yes it does. So base times height equals 196. All right, so if you want to go ahead and pause the video and try this one by yourself. All right, let's go ahead and review. It says a square garden has an area of 235. So we have a square garden with the area of 235. So the area is 235. What is the length of one side? So what is the length of one side? So what will we do again? It's talking about base times height has to be 235. So this number times this number has to be 235. Again, we have to go backwards, right, to find these numbers. These numbers are supposed to be the same. So the same number times the same number is 235. So we will do square root of 235. All right, so we look at this. Second, square root of 235, enter. Oh, what happened here? Well, this one is an irrational number, right? It gave me a decimal, and that's okay. That is okay. So that means your answer, square root of 235, is approximately 15.3. All right, now you will round if it tells you to round. All right, guys, so that is the end. Hopefully you did understand. I try to make it as simple as possible, but if you still don't understand, please contact me if you have any questions or if you are confused after this lesson. Now, after this lesson, please complete the guided practice that follows. Again, make sure that you are completing all the assignments on each folder and make sure that you are writing notes for all your lessons. Thank you very much, guys.